Alright, about what I expected.
It's impossible to download.
It's not impossible. So like late 2013 is when DRAMAtical Murder first like exploded into popularity here in the United States. I first played it a little bit before that, and I just immediately fell in love with it. And I wanted more, so I went on Wikipedia, found out the company that made this game has all these other games. And after playing them, found that they're all just as good, if not better than DRAMAtical Murder. But then I talked to other fans, and so many people don't really know about these games, or sometimes don't even like know that they exist. So my whole reason with this panel is just to like kind of introduce some new people, you know. I think they're really great. So Nitro+Chiral is a branch of a much bigger company called Nitro+. You probably recognize Sonico. She's their mascot. They mostly do erotic visual novels. You might know them for Saya no Uta, Steins Gate, also Token Ranbu. They have several branches doing kind of different types of games, and they do a lot of collaborations with other companies. Then the Nitro+Chiral branch started in 2005 and deals exclusively in boys love visual novels. And just in case anybody's not perfectly clear on what a visual novel actually is, it's just a choose-your-own-adventure type game. It's not even really a game because the only gameplay aspect is certain choices that you make, so you're just reading a story with like illustrations, music, sound effects, usually voice acting. And with erotic visual novels, usually one of your goals is to like hook up with other characters, right? Yeah.
And that's what we... Oh, good lord. And that's what we all want.
Okay.
And by hookup.
By hookup, I mean exactly what you
Hot,
think I mean.
steamy, boys love sex.
And so the name chiral actually comes from a chemistry term, and it means something that is asymmetric in such a way that it cannot be superimposed over its mirror image, which I think is kind of clever. It's like saying they're two different halves of each other, but that they're different. And over the years, Nitro+Chiral has come to be known for certain very specific things. One of the things that I think really sets them apart in the world of BL and Yaoi is the emphasis on settings. BL as a genre tends to be really slice of life heavy. You can probably think of millions of exceptions to that rule. There's a lot of fantasy and sci-fi. But in general, Yaoi and BL focus on romance and relationships, and it's hard to strike a balance with that with things like fantasy and sci-fi, because that is something that requires a lot of world building. And that is something that I think Nitro+Chiral does really well, because the setting and the story tend to come first, the romance and the sex tend to be kind of secondary. Like, I've had people ask me, oh, are these games just like all about fucking? And I'm like, no, like not at all. That's like less than 10% of the gameplay. But the thing that they're really notorious for is dark content. So I mentioned Saya no Uta earlier, and that's important because it was directed by Urobuchi Gen. You might know him for Madoka Magica. And Saya no Uta, with its kind of Lovecraftian horror elements, is what started his reputation for these really like dark and horrible works that he does. And he would go on to direct games for Nitro+Chiral and live up to that reputation in spades. I mean, death, rape, violence, cannibalism, body horror, you're pretty much guaranteed all of those things. If you get bad endings, your character might get dismembered, enslaved, brainwashed, you name it, it's all there. There's some other kind of recurring themes that pop up in the games a lot of like gangs, mafia, yakuza. A lot of times you see religious elements and symbology. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's not so subtle. A lot of characters with strange, undesired powers. The protagonists tend to have weird powers that are like as much a blessing as a curse. And also, the government is evil. Authority figures rarely come off favorably. Usually they're just straight up the bad guys.
Meek knows all about that, right, Meek?
Oh yeah, he knows. But what makes them good? So your mileage might vary just based on personal taste, but general consensus is that they have really interesting plots, that they have well-written characters, good soundtracks, and good art and character design. And yeah, it's all a matter of personal opinion, but that is really what gets the fans to keep coming back, because people will come for sex and gore, but they don't stay for that. they stay because they like the stories and the characters, right? So, their first game was Togainu no Chi in 2005, which means Blood of the Reprimanded Dog. What's Togainu no Chi about?
Alright, so I'm just going to read quick summaries about each game that we talk about. So Togainu no Chi was released in 2005. After being devastated in the Third World War, known as the Third Division, Japan was divided into two. Several years after the end of the war, a crime organization called Vishio has taken control of the destroyed city of Toshima, formerly Tokyo, Japan's capital city, where they are holding a battle game known as Igura. The game's main character, a young man named Akira, is falsely accused of murder. Once arrested, a mysterious woman appears before him, offering him freedom if he agrees to participate in Igura and defeat Igura's strongest man, the king, or Il Rei. The story follows Akira's life in the harsh, lawless Toshima as he fights both to survive and unravel the mysteries developing around him.
Okay. So these are the main characters. Hot dad alert, yeah. Just out of curiosity, I want to do just a little informal poll here. Whether you've played the game or not, I'm going to say a name and you just cheer for whoever you think is best boy. Just satisfy my curiosity. Doug the dog from Up. Hot dad alert. He thought this was a Final Fantasy game. Really, the corpse fucker? Dr. Frankenfurter mixed with a lemon grab. It's cool, guys. He's legal. Yay! Alright, he's cute. He looks normal, but he eats paper. Very bad news. Oh, yeah. And Sonic the Hedgehog. Alright, he has one fan. He's unbangable, but that's okay. So I've always really liked the premise of Togainu no Chi, because it's the Third World War in the future, and the Japanese government goes around just kidnapping little children from their families, basically, shoots them up full of weird experimental drugs, and tries to turn them into perfect soldiers. But then the war ends before they're old enough to fight, so they just kind of unleash them on society, this entire generation of angry young men who have been taught nothing but violence and combat all their lives. So what the fuck do? Naturally, they start beating the crap out of each other, call it organized street fighting, and use that to make a little cash and blow off a little steam. And then there's some weird drug that starts circulating, offering them strength and stamina, but it's also super addictive and will kill you within a few years of using it. So that is the super fucked up world that the protagonist comes from. That's whose eyes we're seeing the story through. I think he's a really interesting protagonist. I like that he can change and adapt to his environment. His personality kind of changes based on what ending you get. That said, for me, some of the endings are a lot more satisfying than others. Some of them don't really address the story all that well. But this was their first game. I almost feel like they were kind of testing the waters to see what they could get away with and see if people would go for this kind of unapologetically dark and gritty content. Turns out people do. But I think the writing in their later games would maybe handle it in a more kind of nuanced way. But, you know, despite its flaws, the art can also be a little bit hit and miss. But in spite of that, it has a special place in my heart. It has some really, really great characters, and I honestly think it has a fascinating story.
So I like this game. This is actually my favorite game that they made because, piggybacking off of what she has said, that they have a lot of really good character designs. But not only that, this story has a lot of elements that you can find in real life, everyday life. Drug addiction, fighting, like war, everything like that. Like this could be possible in the future.
Like
something
removing
similar to
some
this.
supernatural elements.
Yeah, okay.
It's very much rooted in reality
Besides
in
that,
some ways.
It could happen. So I like it. I like more kind of realistic type things, and this is one of them. So if you like to be seated in reality a little bit, here you go.
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay.
I mean, I agree with what
We're
you're
not
saying.
giving anything away, but there is some.
Like, it's a
stuff
yaoi
going
game.
on.
It's not going to be that real.
And,
but,
you know,
yeah.
butt sex everywhere.
Of course.
So that's
all the
always a
time, butt
thing.
sex. But this game is seriously not for everyone. I mean, there's a lot of rape scenes in Togani no Chi. Some of them are like super brutal. And even though there are 2 routes you can take where Akira does not get raped at all, there's still, you know, a lot of violence. Seriously, this is not even an exhaustive list. This is like what I can think of off the top of my head. Like, the list goes on. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the violence is more described in words than it is shown. Most of it is not shown visually. I'm the type of person who, violence only bothers me if I see it, not when I read it. Some people are the other way around. It just depends on what kind of person you are. Also, screwdrivers. Yeah, you don't know, I don't want to tell you.
If you don't know, you should play this game.
If they don't know, they should preserve their innocence because I interviewed them.
Preserve your innocence, or else you wouldn't be at this panel.
True. So then in 2010, we got Togani no Chi True Blood for the PSP. It's the same game, but it's a PG-13 basically version of the game. So, right? So the violence is all toned way, way down, and all the sexy stuff has been taken out. But they replaced the sex scenes with super cutesy shit like this. Aww. I fucking live for that spooning picture.
I love his arms.
Right? He's so much bigger. He's not the bigger spoon, he's the biggest spoon.
Team Hot Dad.
This game also added some new content and like new CGs, new music, but most importantly, an entirely new character route. So this is Yukihito, available only in the PSP version. So there's no English adaptation for this. If you want to play it, you're going to have to play it in Japanese, but if you want a like less rapey and guro-filled version of the game, that might be a way to go. So that same year, we got an anime adaptation by A1 Pictures.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's where the car picture comes from.
Everyone has seen that car picture. Now, I thought long and hard about what can I really say about Togani no Chi, the anime, but I have a video that I think can put it way back.
It's a fantastic video.
But really, you don't need to see it after that.
That's a really good high quality
You have a
animation.
question over
You
there?
should give it a try.
There was no editing involved in that, right? That was all directly from the anime?
Oh no, yeah, that's the director's cut, actually. So, moving right along. Their next game was in 2006. Lamento Beyond the Void. It's a pretty simple game. You put out some frisky bits and a couple of toys, and you just wait for the cat boys to come to you.
I want to pet his ears.
You got one in the crowd. Go ahead. Maybe ask first before you pet him, though.
Don't peg too far, the ears might fall off. Oh,
Yeah, mine are derby ears, so just be careful. But you're welcome to pet me. Alright, so this game takes place in a fictional world inhabited by Rebecca, who look like humans but have cat ears and tails. Their world has fallen into dark times. A mysterious void has made some places and even animals impossible to touch, causing major food shortages.
Shortage.
I have braces, don't make fun of me.
it's late, you guys.
Yes, it is. Yeah. A strange and deadly disease that has killed off a large percentage of the female Rebecca population is also spreading. The hero, Kanoe, exists in this miserable world, living alone in the starving village of Cairo. Oh my god, I got it right. Who have turned to cannibalism. The story begins with Kanoe in Cairo, where he suddenly begins to see horrible dreams and strange marks appear on his body. This is believed to be a curse, so Kanoe heads off to Ronson, the big city, in order to heal his body.
So this is the main cast. So this one has 7 bad endings, but only 3 good endings.
Johnny just burst over.
Let's do another informal poll. Just cheer for your favorite. Beautiful Cinnamon Roll, Too Good
Yes!
to
Yes!
Skipped Leg Day.
Yes.
Johnny
Like
Depp's
Reese's
persona.
ears.
Oh.
Adorable Cheeto Puff. Angry Devil.
I always love the one.
Sad Devil.
Yes!
Horny Devil.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever the fuck that thing is.
That's like the BDSM guy.
He's
Got leather and...
he's something, man. He's something else.
Someone should call him.
So the English patch for this game was just released last year. 10 years after the game's initial release in Japan, you could finally play it in English. It's a very, very long game. Don't just, pick it up and think you're going to jump right into some catboy sex, because you're going to be waiting a while. But your patience will pay off, because, catboy sex can be pretty interesting. There's mating season, going into heat, tails as erogenous zones. Those are all things that happen. And seriously, though, I really love the world building in this game. Oh, yeah. It's a pretty fascinating world that they've created that the Rebecca live in. And the soundtrack is also just phenomenal.
The soundtrack is very amazing. I
It's
think
gorgeous.
this game probably has the best soundtrack personally, I think.
You're probably right. And I also really like that love is kind of a more central theme to the story here than it is with their other games, and not in a like overbearing way, just in that love is kind of at the core of the overall theme. And you want that in your boys' love, right? You know?
Maybe. Or you just have hot, dirty sex. But whatever.
It's fine. Whatever.
You have any thoughts? Any thoughts?
Yeah, like I said before, this game has a very beautiful soundtrack. The landscapes, I think, it's more fantasy related. It's kind of, in a sense, like woodsy, mystical type.
There's some really like interesting like mythology within this world
Yes,
too,
absolutely.
and history and
Yeah,
everything.
they have their whole backstory, a whole history type of deal. Like it kind of has like a deeper roots almost in a sense.
And within their society, there's different tribes that all have really
Absolutely.
different cultures. And
Yeah,
some of them
so
have like been at war with each
They
other
put a
forever.
lot of work into this, and it's kind of a shame that it took so long for them to have an English patch for them, because I was kind of scared that a lot of people would lose interest, but I feel like it might be sparking back up, and I'm very happy about that.
No, yeah, the English patch like created all these new fans. It's really
I
great.
think I'm gonna have to look this one up.
Absolutely. I mean, cat boys, come on.
I
They're
know.
pretty
Oh, yeah.
sexy, right? Yeah?
So this game is also pretty tame compared to Shigai no Chi. But there's still some pretty fucked up stuff in here. The bad endings are going to be pretty hardcore. I mean, cannibalism, obviously. We're talking like hardcore, like some Attack on Titan shit.
Oh my gosh.
Tentacles, that's almost as much a selling point as it is a warning. After you play Lamento, you can check out something called Lamento Treasure Disc. It's just a little bonus story taking place after the main game. That has had an English patch actually for longer than the main game did, just because it's short. But it's a lot of fun, something to check out if you like Lamento. And speaking of bonus games, there's also Kairo Mori. That came out in 2008, and it has 3 different mini games on it. There's Togainu no Poker. You play poker with little chibi Togainu characters, and it's adorable. There's a puzzle game called Lamento Queens, and there's a typing game, a Lamento typing game, which you read words in hiragana and you have to type it in a time limit. So if you can read hiragana, you can play it, but it's ridiculously hard. Like even native Japanese speakers have trouble with this. Their next game, Sweet Pool, released in 2008.
Oh, Sweet Pool. You are in for a ride with this one.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, having been sickly and weak most of his life, quite an introverted high school student. I really need to calm down. High school student Yoji. This game, seriously though, this is a treat. High school student Yoji has spent a lot of time out of school and hasn't made many friends. After returning to school, following a long absence, Yoji notices a few of his classmates, Tetsuo and Zenya, are suddenly drawn to him and have been saying and doing unsettling things in his presence. Even his closest friend Makoto, he's a babe, seems to be acting a little different. At the same time, strange and horrifying things have begun happening to Yoji's body. Is it real, or is he hallucinating? What do Tetsuo and Zenya want with him? What are the strange mysteries surrounding Yoji's body?
Here are the main characters. Alright, let's pull these guys too. Who likes bread? Who likes short people are that much closer to Satan?
We are Satan.
On your titties. 420 blaze it? Oh, come on, it's nothing. Hot older guy that you can't bang.
Yeah.
Damn it. Right? So Sweet Pool has a pretty serious reputation around it, and there's a lot of people who refuse to even give it a chance because of the things that they. So I'm going to set the record straight for you right now. There is no poop in Sweet Pool. Does everyone understand? Are we all clear? No poop. Okay?
Not that we have found anyway.
I mean, there's some pretty disgusting stuff, but it's not poop. There's There's very little that I can say about Sweet Pool that is not a spoiler, because it has this fantastic use of suspense and this constant feeling that something bad is going to happen and you never know what, and that is what makes the experience best, is not knowing. It's like, honestly, if Stephen King was going to write a yaoi visual novel.
This soundtrack is just ridiculous, like...
It's like scary. It's like unsettling scary.
It's like when you play some of those horror RPGs, and you're just like, this is fucking creepy. What the fuck am I doing?
Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Gay Silent Hill, that works. That,
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. It is
Not so many monsters, but a few monsters. A few monsters.
It's just...
monsters inside you.
It gives you creepy crawlies. It really does.
The story has all these mysterious elements that all kind of twine together at the end. There's so many layers to the storytelling. There's so much symbolism. It's just, you're really not ready for, like, how deep the story actually is.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, the thing that you should be concerned about is not that it's gross. The thing you should be concerned about is that it's going to rip your heart out of your chest, throw it on the floor, and stomp on it a few times. I mean, everybody that I know personally that has played this game has admitted to crying at some point during it.
So, my friends told me, hey, play this game. It's awesome. We've all played this. You need to join our cosplay group. And I'm like, yeah, I'll play it. Oh my god, I can't wait. I like the other games. And then I was stuck in Korea, and they're all here in Washington chilling with each other. I had to cry myself to sleep. Thanks, guys.
If at all possible, do not experience this game alone. Try to get a friend to play it with you, and you can sob to each other at the end. By the way, there are no good endings in this game. There are only bad endings. The closest you get is like kind of bittersweet, but that's it. It's all bad.
There's a very tasty ending as well.
I'm really concerned about your use of the word tasty.
Delicious.
It's worth noting that the English patch for this game is a fan-made patch, of course, and it's not technically complete. You can play the game in its entirety, but there are a few like patches of untranslated text. There's some typos and like word wrapping issues, but you can still play the whole game and understand it. But there's this one particular scene that reads like it was just put into Google Translate or like Babelfish or something, and it gave us gems like this. They also referred to him as Tetsup several times.
Read them out loud for the
I mean,
folks
other
in the
than
back.
that, the game was translated well, and that's it. You can understand. So the big thing that scares people away about Sweet Pool is that it kind of, sort of, technically has male pregnancy. So, not like, don't picture like a regular like female pregnancy transferred onto a male body. That's not what it is. It's more of like a fucked up, like parasitic kind of pregnancy. But I mean, I'm just throwing that out there so that you're prepared. Other than that, I really don't want to spoil the story.
As long as it's not gore. If you know what that is.
I do know what gore is, and I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Every single game that they've ever made has like people eating each other.
Oh my god.
Not like swallowing whole, like that kind of gore, but like people do tend to get eaten a lot. I don't know why they keep falling back on cannibalism. By the way, auto-cannibalism, do I have to explain what auto-cannibalism
What is that? What is that?
Eating oneself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Oh my god. Yeah, so it's disturbing, but if you can handle it, honestly, I'm not trolling you here. Nitro+Chiral might be trolling you a little bit, but I am not. I think this is a great game and you should play it.
I will try it.
Good.
First I've seen ever.
Good, you're brave. Do it, man, do it. So next we have DRAMAtical Murder.
So, I will read a brief description in case someone in here has not played it. So, a time far into the future, Midoriyama, an island to the southwest of Japan, people and nature once coexisted on this plentiful island. However, due to being purchased by a leading company of Japan, Toei Company, 1/3 of the island has been changed into extravagant amusement facility, Platinum Jail. Platinum Jail. Okay. Equipped with the latest cutting-edge technology, Platinum Jail has gathered attention. On the other side, the islanders who become victims of forceful development are forced into the former residence district. and have no choice but to carry out their lives in a place that is by no means prosperous. The protagonist, Alba, spends his day working part-time in a junk shop. Hi, Bon.
Hey, Bon.
Hey, Bon.
Hey,
I suck at
Bon.
pronunciation. Please forgive me. She yells at me all the time. Inside the former residence district, living together with the grandmother, Tai.
Tay.
Tai. It's technically Tai, but we're not Japanese. We can say it however the fuck we want.
And everyone disagrees with you. Please do not beat me, master. Okay. Among the young people of the former residence district, a certain game has become popular. In Rib Steez, teams are created and Days of Human Bullet Turf was unfold. Yes, okay, I got that right. On the other hand, Rhyme is an electronic online game using a virtual world as its setting, which rhymers are going crazy over. Alba shows no interest in either one, thinking that it would be nice to just live peacefully with his grandmother. But the disaster that will shake up those peaceful days has already begun.
Alright. Well, here are the characters. The important ones, anyway. 6 bad endings, 5 good endings, and 1 joke ending. Let's find out who best boy is.
Alright, best boy poll. Who is ready for this? I want to hear everyone.
Alright, like my status if you love Japanese shit. Might be a furry.
Yes!
Hot delicious cinnamon buns.
Yay.
Oh, come on.
Minx clapping.
Hey, I like him. He is hot.
There you go.
Right? He knows what's up. Watch as you sleep.
Why not?
Don't even fucking say it.
His human form is hot. Like,
Right?
I cannot
Seriously,
I-
bangable.
think about it.
Another cutie you'll never bang. Trash and garbage?
This one
You
made me
would
play
like
this
them.
stupid game.
And you loved it?
And I got to the point where you see another cutie you'll never bang, and I'm like, I want to fuck that
Right?
one.
Everybody wants to bang him like
Go
immediately,
to
and you
Rule
don't get
34 if you can't bang it. Just do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You're saying you can't. I'm like, I'm not even gonna play this game anymore. You crushed my dreams.
Well, I don't really know
My game
what to say
right.
about DMMD other than I love it. The first time I played it, I mean, it was my first visual novel, and it was just completely unlike anything I had ever seen before. Like, it blew me away so much. In the course of 2 days, I didn't stop playing except to sleep and eat. I shit you not. I just did it all in one sitting. And I mean, it's really popular for a reason, I think. It has a good story. It has these really, like, lovable characters. Oh, yeah.
I did not get it to download, but I watched it from the beginning. A lot of people
Well,
have.
there's plenty of playthroughs you can watch. And I mean, the music is really good, and I love Honyalala's art in this. It's so colorful and detailed, and she really does amazing work. She also did the character designs, which I know they're ridiculous, and we like to make fun of them, but really, look at how distinctive they are. I mean, you can break the characters down into, like, base elements and still recognize them. And you see those motifs in the merchandise a lot, and that is really evidence of good character design.
I see noises
And
like that everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It is iconic.
Noise looks like
And
it
it
was
is
designed by
cute.
2009 DeviantArt.
A little bit, yeah, but in a good way. In a good way.
OC, do not steal.
I think
I
that's what.
ship clear and noise together.
Yes!
Like
OTP.
like over 9,000. Okay.
Noijaku
I mean,
all the way.
I think those character designs are.
Hey,
Hey, Comey's is solid. Look, I'm not gonna shit on your rare parrot, all right?
I'm not gonna
They're
shit
all
Kujaku
good.
is
They're all
just-
good.
Kujaku is just.
But I mean, I think those character designs are what helped make it so popular. Because I mean, for me, I know the reason I even played it in the first place is because I kept seeing pictures of Alba everywhere. I was like, who the hell is this blue mullet asshole? But I mean, we've sort of passed the peak of popularity, I think. But it's not dead yet, and I am nowhere near tired of it. I still love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something really special. I like how it came out and it's drawn a lot of people into it, and that's one of the main things that we were kind of hosting to, is just to give push everyone towards the other games as well, so we can bring those back up in popularity. And hopefully, they are coming out with a new game as well.
Oh, we'll talk more about that later. We will talk more about that later. So, I mean, a lot of people who first get into DRAMAtical Murder don't really know what they're in for. Because on the surface it looks kind of innocent, and it even starts out like seeming kind of innocent, and then it starts to take some very, very dark turns. For some people it's a little jarring, and those bad ends can really sneak up on you. Like, you can think that you're close to a happy ending, and then, you know, you get your head cut off or something.
Reminds me
So
so much.
it can take you by surprise if you're not ready. I mean, these content warnings are also not exhaustive, and some of these apply more to the sequel, because the sequel is where shit really starts to get intense. So DRAMAtical Murder Reconnect is the direct
Those
sequel
arms.
that came out in 2013, and you can pick up from any of the endings in the first game, good and bad, and just see what happens next in the story. And this is really important for Mink, because everybody else's character development is kind of done at the end of game 1, but Mink's hasn't even started. You get a big cliffhanger, and in Reconnect you get the closure that you didn't get in the first game. Additionally, after you do all the good and bad routes, you can unlock a little route about Alba's childhood. You get to see his parents. You can unlock a short scene that follows up with Mizuki. And there's cute mini games, there's bonus content. It's a lot of fun. Watch out for the English patch for this one and for the first DRAMAtical Murder.
Yeah.
I mean, we get them for free. People do this stuff for free, so we really are in no position to complain. But there are a couple of faulty translations. And when I say faulty, I mean that they conveyed the exact opposite meaning of what was said in Japanese. And if, you know, those little nuances are important for you, there are other translations out there that you can read to compare. So then in 2014, we got Murder Recode, which is a PS Vita version of the game. It's just like True Blood. It's the same game, but it's been toned down. There's some extra content.
No.
And we get more, you know, cutesy scenes like this instead of sex scenes, which is okay.
What do you expect?
But most importantly, a new route was added in Recode. Mizuki route.
There it is.
Oh, I know where that's
The
at.
Mizuki route is, you can almost think of it as like the ultimate true ending. It adds a lot onto the story that was not there in the first game. And there's no way to play this one in English either, but there are plenty of translations out there that you can read. And summaries and stuff. So this also got an anime adaptation in 2014. Sometimes it actually looked good. Sometimes it really did look very nice. But other times we got this. Episode 3 of DRAMAtical Murder had so many animation fuck-ups that the production team had to issue an apology and put up a fixed version of the episode online later that same week. There's a video on YouTube where you can watch the original and the fixed version side by side. I recommend it because it's fucking hilarious. They fucked up so bad.
How come is it?
I remember them raging to me about the messed up episode while I was in the airport, and I'm like, I can't watch it. I want to watch it. And then by the time I got to actually watch it, the new one was already up, so.
Well, this anime was a pretty faithful adaptation up through the common route. So the first like 6 episodes or so are just like a direct telling of the story, but then it starts to cram each individual character route into one episode each, and it's kind of a mess. I mean, some people really enjoyed it. I think it's a lot of fun just seeing scenes from the game get animated at all. So it's something that everybody should watch at some point. There's also there's an OVA episode which focuses only on the bad endings. And that is like a hard R rating. That is like, you can't show that on television. By the way, this got an official English dub. Like, for real. And I have another very short clip for you. I just want you to
play.
I just want you to
Don't do it. But think of everyone you'd leave. The Benny Sugar Ray need you. And I need you too, you selfish bitch.
That is, like, the entire show is like that from start to finish. I'm not even kidding. Alba can't act his way out of a paper bag. It's pretty sad.
What's that? Actually,
Kind of cute and unfinished.
I'm almost tempted to go and like buy those DVDs because I want to hear. There's a scene in the first episode where Alba tells Benny to go back to St. Louis where he belongs. That's an actual line that somebody thought would be a good joke. It's a disaster. Like a funny disaster.
Wow.
So, I actually completely skipped over one of Nitro+Chiral's games. Does anybody know which game I skipped? The mobile one. That's right. False Alkanet came out in 2010. And, what's it about?
Alright, the story takes place in the Taisho period. I'm a disaster. During the political crisis that would lead to the end of Japan's oligarchy and the rise of the democratic parties. After all the political turmoil, the Takatori family is finally recovering its lost peace. Takatori's successor is the aspiring pianist Yuto, whose piano skills keep evolving along with his plans to study abroad. Everything looks favorable, but things are about to get clouded.
So there's no translation for this. You can only play it on Japanese phones. I mean, you're probably never going to get to play it for real.
I have a Japanese phone.
No one really
I still
cares.
can't play it.
Whatever. Well, that pretty much brings us up to the present. And a lot of people have been wondering, what else does Nitro+Chiral have in store for us in the future once they're done milking that incredibly successful cash cow of theirs called DRAMAtical Murder? And they have finally announced a new game. So, Slow Damage is a tentative title. That may change at some point. This teaser image is pretty much all that we have been given so far. There's no release date yet, and the only info about the game is that the scenario writer is going to be Fuchi Kabura, who has been the writer for all of their games. And the artist is Uiro Yamada, who does absolutely beautiful work. I am so stoked to see what they're going to make for us. So just stay tuned, and we'll find out more about this as information is released. So we've covered all the games now, but there's still a lot more content out there that you can consume. There are manga adaptations for the 4 main games. Tagana no Chi was actually licensed by Tokyo Pop, which, aren't they like defunct now?
They went out of business in like 2008.
So some of those volumes are a little hard to come by. Not impossible, they're out there. There's 10 volumes, it's technically ongoing. Lamento, I don't think most of it is translated. Sweet Pool, I think, got cut off after 2 volumes. And then there's the DRAMAtical Murder manga, which is also at 2 volumes and is technically ongoing. The art style in the DRAMAtical Murder manga is really weird. It's not bad, it's just really weird. Like, I think everyone's hair kind of has a mind of its own. It's like, Fujaku's hair is like an entity.
Are those noises eyelashes?
Really, the most ridiculous thing about this manga is that Noise is seen drinking Corona Light. Really? Come on.
Oh, that was Wires and Trips.
Something else that I really love that a lot of people don't seem to talk about is drama CDs. Just basically think of them as like radio dramas. The voice actors record dialogue, there's sound effects, there's music, and a lot of them are just like kind of goofy, fun misadventures. Some of them are more serious, but they're all completely canon, and they sometimes add a lot to character development. Yes, they're in Japanese, but there are translations out there. These aren't all of what's available, just a few of my personal favorites. The DMMD drama CDs all take place after Reconnect. There's so much more than I expected. They're each like something like an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and they add a lot of story. They tell you a lot about the characters that you didn't know, and they have sex scenes that are like 15 minutes long. So there's that. The Sweet Pool Everblue drama CD is really short, but honestly, it's one of the most fucked up things I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's to be expected.
It's really wrong, but it makes a great follow-up to the game. And there's also the Chiral Cafe CDs. That's like a crossover in like an alternate universe where all of the characters work together in a cafe, and it's just shenanigans. They're really, really funny. So the first one came out before DRAMAtical Murder, so it didn't have any DMMD characters in it. But the second one just came out, and that does have the DMMD cast in it. And all of these have translations that you can find online. So by now you're probably wondering where you can actually find some of this stuff. So these are some resources for you. Just as a disclaimer, I'm not here to promote piracy. I mean, support the company in any way that you can. But the fact is, we're really never going to get a stateside release for any of this stuff. So
You can take pictures if you need to.
so like fan translations are really all we have. Yeah, take a picture of the screen if you want to remember this for later. Aaron Fantasy is your go-to. They have download links for everything. They have like tech support if you can't install something. Fuwanable has a couple of games that are pre-patched. Everything else on here is just like translations and stuff. But DMMD Resources is a really good one. Literally everything you could ever possibly want related to DRAMAtical Murder is on that blog. So April Fool's Day is coming up in about a week now, and I highly recommend that you check out their website, DRAMAtical's website, on April Fool's Day, because they, past couple years, they've given us some really ridiculous games. 2 years ago, we got Osu Boys. This is a demo version for a game that doesn't actually exist, but I wish that it did, because it's fucking ridiculous. From what I can gather, the premise is that, like, you, the main character, have some kind of curse where you talk to cute boys, and then they, like, trip and fall and their clothes come off and things get shoved up their ass. I mean, seriously. It's a work of art. So hopefully this year we'll get something just as crazy.
Run wasn't actually included, FYI.
I had to do that for you guys, because this is SakuraCon.
It's nice to know I was right.
Huh?
Nice to know I was right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So does anybody have any questions at this point? Seriously, I have no life. Ask me whatever you want.
I did have one.
You?
I was asking
Is that a pencil on top right?
That's
I think
vile.
that's a vial of something. He's in a science lab.
Oh. Alright.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. You had a question?
My question was, how come the translations for some of the animations in the game, like the one episode that was really bad, how come they're going bad in the first place?
It's probably a budget thing.
Yeah.
Like,
So like an outsourcing thing, like for example, Pokemon, I'll just give something everybody knows, was really good at first, and then they started sending it out to Canada because it's cheaper. Is it something like that?
I don't think it's a situation like that. I think it's well,
Business
DRAMAtical
people who
Murder
don't
was
care?
made by a really, really small studio that had just started up.
Oh, okay.
And so I think it was really just budget. Like,
Yeah, it was
DRAMAtical
just-
Murder is a fairly big property as far as Yaoi goes, but in the grand scheme of anime, like, it's not actually a huge property
At
that
least-
they probably saw as a big moneymaker.
At least now that it's popular, there's hope. Just remember, there's hope.
There's some hope, but I mean, once the anime is made, we pretty much have to live with the quality. You?
Have you guys played No Thank You yet?
I have played part of No Thank You. I had to take a break because that much porn in one sitting is really intense. Yeah. But oh man, No Thank You is did get an official English release, and that's not a chiral thing, but
It's very similar.
Manga Gamer has physical copies of it in the
yes,
dealer's hall.
Manga Gamer. Oh, in the dealer's hall.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
They've got limited edition physical copies that come with an art book and the audio CD.
Oh, I might have to check that out tomorrow. But yeah, you can either get the physical copy or you can go on Manga Gamer's website and buy that and really support them if you can.
It's not the
because
same company, but it's very similar thematically.
It's
It's got the big,
mafia.
heavy.
There's some overlapping elements for sure, but it's also very different in a lot of ways. It's
Yeah.
way raunchier. Like, sex is a really big part of No Thank You, for sure. It takes a while to get to it because there's story and
The
everything.
script is 34% porn as opposed to like the 10 to 15% you can expect from the Nitro game.
Sure, and there's also just like more numerous sex scenes. Like, instead of
Yeah.
getting one sex scene as your reward for like finishing the game, you'll get like 5 or 6 or 7. Oh,
But-
and because it's an American release that we have for No Thank You, there's no censorship, pixel dicks.
Yes!
There's also some cool options. You can turn body hair on and off.
It makes the erotic
If you
shaving
like-
scene really weird if you turn it off.
It makes what?
The erotic shaving scene really weird if you have it turned off.
I kind
Right.
of want to watch
But
that.
I mean, if you
That
like your
sounds
guy's
funny.
hairy, you can leave the hair on or you can take it off. There's some weird shit going on.
Oh, and No Thank You has an amazing pair of bara titties, by the way.
Huge
Oh,
bar
yeah, that's my man.
I'm just really excited because it's the first game we've had legally like brought over officially in 7 years.
Yeah, since the 2 games that were released together years ago, which
were bad.
questionable quality at best. But like I said, support Manga Gamer in any way that you can, because if they make a lot of money off of No Thank You, we could see more we could see more yaoi visual novels start to get released here
I
in
was
the States.
actually talking to the guy who owns the company recently, and he said that they are actually working on it, but getting the licensing for the BL and the Otome titles can be really difficult because
Sure.
they're off of subsidiary companies.
Sure.
But
From
they
what
are
I've been
working on it.
following, they're sort of hinting at maybe releasing Gaku in Heaven 2. Like, I can't confirm that, but that's something that they seem to be sort of hinting at, because they're doing a lot of polls for, like, what type of game would you like to see next?
Yes.
And I think that might be the direction that they're going.
No
Any other
Thank You
questions?
came in as their third highest title last year, like most sales, number 3. So it's
That's
looking
impressive,
good.
actually, considering all the games that they sell. That is
Yeah.
impressive. Any other questions?
Enough of your rambling.
Sorry.
I love that game.
Why aren't we allowed to make a "you fuck the dog" joke?
Because I'm tired of it. I've been in this fandom for years. I'm tired of fucking
don't.
this dog.
It turns into
Because you don't fuck the dog.
You really don't.
You don't. He's not a dog, and he fucks you.
Exactly.
And, you know, I don't want people to look at DRAMAtical Murder and think, oh, really? I'm going to fuck that cute little Pomeranian? Like, what the hell kind of game is this?
I love his voice though.
Oh, yeah. I love people's reactions the first time they hear Ren talk. Why is his voice deeper than the Pacific Ocean? He's like this big.
It's all the restrictions.
So if we don't have any more questions, then we can,
If one of the Nitro+Chiral characters was to nickname their wiener party sausage, which one would it be?
noise.
Repeat the question.
She wanted to know if any Chiral character was going to nickname their wiener party sausage. Who would it be? Noise is definitely the first one that comes to mind. Xenia, that sounds like something Xenia would do.
I was gonna say Xenia, but you beat me with noise.
I feel like he would be a little more egotistical and call it like Xenia Jr. or something. No, he would have one of those really
Baby.
disgusting, he would call it like
Baloney
yogurt
pony.
slinger or something like that.
That
Because
sounds
Xenia is
bad.
disgusting and I love him.
What about Mink?
What do I think he would name his wiener?
Yeah.
I don't know, I think he's a little too classy for stuff like that.
Classy, really?
Put a bow tie on it.
Someone
maybe?
else would name his wiener
A
for him.
gentleman? I don't know.
What does
I
Alba
don't know.
call it?
What does Alba call Mink's dick?
Yeah.
The cinnamon challenge.